blockchain,
crypto,
NFTs,
Web 3.0.
All these things. Before you click off, don't. We're going to be talking about the creator connection and the real life usage of these mythical things.
They're very debated in society. People hate them. Some people love them. It's like Marmite.
Yeah, it's a heated topic. There's a lot of opinions out there.
But I think it's really important for people to actually know about it and understand. Even if they absolutely don't want anything to do with it and don't like it, it's important to understand because it's going to become a part of life.
It's coming. It's coming whether you like it or not. And I think the beauty of progress and the beauty of technology is that it is unstoppable. It's, even the haters, even the doubters, it's coming.
Yeah, you don't have to like it.
You don't have to like it.
I'm sure people didn't like credit cards when they first came out.
People still don't like credit cards, do they?
Not just credit, I mean just more cards with money.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the Catch the Creator podcast. We're Sal and Bart from Trio Stories, and we discuss all things creator.
The lifestyle, the career, the ups and downs, anything really to do with the creator lifestyle.
And from my perspective, I know not so much about this topic. I know a bit because you blart on about it quite a bit. So I'm going to be interviewing you and getting your knowledge that you've acquired over the past couple of years.
Quick disclaimer here, I'm by no means an expert in the matter. I've been dabbling in the past couple of years, so I think I have the basic idea, but I'm absolutely no expert. So
for example, like me, I have $16 worth of what is it?
Polka dot. That's a cryptocurrency.
Thanks to Revolut, which gives away free polka dot if you do their 4 tutorials. So that's my involvement with crypto.
Not bad. So we'll start at the start.
Makes sense.
With a brief history of Bitcoin, where it came from, the first steps. The idea was floated around in the 1990s, but then it was very much theoretical stuff, theoretical science. And it wasn't really until 2009 when Bitcoin gained some traction. It's the first one, it's the biggest one, it's the household name, as it were, of crypto. So what made it fascinating and what made it intriguing was the fact that we don't know who's behind it. It could be one person, the mastermind. It could be a group, Anonymous, something like that. All we have is this pseudonym or name, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Sounds like the guy from Big Hero 6.
It does, yeah, it does.
To the average person who's not so involved in crypto or whatever, that's quite sketchy, not knowing who's behind it, whether you can trust that organization or non-organization.
Yeah, and I think that sketchy element, that sort of element of distrust is probably the biggest barrier for cryptocurrency still today. It's actually quite a good comparison to make to Anonymous because it always had this sort of rebellious, anarchy sort of nature to it, because the idea was that it's supposed to be a decentralized form of currency, so nobody controls it. There's no, governing body. So there's always been that element of anti-government, anti-surveillance sort of freedom movement vibe around it. The premise of it is going to be a completely transparent ledger, basically. So everybody can see all the transactions on it. There's nothing hidden. It's all completely transparent. It's super fast, super safe, super reliable, and nobody can mess with it because it's on everybody's computer.
What about hackers?
Well, they can't do anything because they'd have to be able to hack millions and millions of computers.
So if there's one anomaly, let's say a hacker gets into one computer and there's one anomaly, will the others basically, is it like a probability kind
Absolutely,
of system?
yeah. So they will all talk to each other and they'll all verify the ledger. They all have a copy of the ledger. So there's millions and millions and millions of these copies. And if one of them all of a sudden says, oh, no, but Bart's actually got $1 million and not $1, they're going to be all the other computers nah, he hasn't. He's got $1. And if 51% of them or more say, no, he's actually got $1, then I've got $1.
Right. It feels like it can be manipulated, but I don't know how.
There are ways it could in theory be manipulated, but it's extremely, extremely difficult, far more difficult than traditional banking and traditional methods of security. So, I mean, you've got to think, a traditional bank, your money is held in an account, one account. That account could be hacked. Your money is also by proxy held in the vaults of the bank. That bank can be robbed. There's no risk of that with crypto.
What about insurance?
Yeah, there's no insurance with crypto.
Yeah, that's a downfall.
Insurance sounds like something boomers do.
Yeah, but it sounds like a good idea for money.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that will have to come in the future for it to be a bigger thing.
Absolutely. I mean, but, if you're talking insurance, you're talking centralization, which is some sort of governing body, some sort of control. So that's not what people want.
Yeah, but the centralization, isn't that the ledger?
No, because the ledger is everywhere. It's not in one place. It's not centralized.
Can you refer to everywhere as centralized?
Well, no, that's the definition of decentralized.
Okay.
Anyway, so we've actually come a long way since then because, we're talking about these sort of founding principles. Obviously now today, there are thousands of crypto projects. Bitcoin is just one of them, one of the original ones, and to name a few, you've got Ethereum, which is like it's the second biggest cryptocurrency, and you've got Ethereum-based projects, such as the one that you mentioned, Polkadot. It's an Ethereum-based spin-off project, as it were, that's trying to carve out its own utility in the sphere. And then, you've got all these different projects focusing on all the different aspects. So you've got some coins or some currencies which have focused on the security aspect. They want to create their, blockchain, their currency to be the most secure.
What is the blockchain?
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. So the definition of the blockchain, because we've heard this buzzword a lot, is it's an unchangeable, decentralized and distributed ledger that contains data shared in a publicly accessible network. That's basically all the information. And the reason it's called blockchain is because it's a chain of blocks, and each packet of data is called a block. So every time a transaction happens or there's any changes, they form a block on the blockchain. And then obviously the word chain is because they're all connected. So they're all linked to each other.
Yeah, in terms of the world and technology, I think the blockchain makes much more sense than crypto itself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think that is a first really important takeaway from this. The thing that's going to change the world isn't cryptocurrency, it's blockchain technology. Sorry?
Web 3.0.
Web 3.0 is also a part of it, but it's blockchain technology that's going to be the revolution. That's what's going to make the difference. Yeah.
Crypto is something scary because we already have a monetary system that theoretically works. The blockchain is like a whole new thing, like an invention that is going to be adopted by multiple things. And actually that's the one that makes complete sense to me. And I think people need to learn about that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so the blockchain is the invention, like you said, that's perfect. It's the new technology. And it in terms of the scale of it's comparable to when the internet was invented. Like, that's how important it could turn out to be.
It probably will.
It probably will. And I think, like you said, we're scared of new things. We have a currency system that's kind of okay, but like when you look closely, it's kind of fucked. But
can we swear on this podcast?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think we've got to be ourselves.
Yeah, well.
It's kind of screwed, but it's stable. People are used to it, so people let it be. And like when the internet came about, people were scared of it. People were like, "This thing is evil. Like this will lead to terrible things." And obviously it does, but it's also very useful. And it's the same. We've got the skeptical people.
Can it be separated from crypto?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the blockchain, we'll obviously get into NFTs and stuff later, but can you make use of the blockchain but with normal currency? What's normal current? Fiat.
Fiat currency.
So wise.
So you could do in theory, but the way that would happen now is you would probably input your fiat currency, change it into some sort of cryptocurrency to then use it on the blockchain. Your fiat currency is the physical pounds and notes that you have.
But that could be like a barrier to it making it more accessible. Like, for example, you enter your normal card details, which people are happy to do online, and then some sort of intermediary system exchanges that into crypto, so you don't actually have to do anything with crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. There's platforms that do that and make that very accessible. Yeah, and you said about the separation. Definitely there is a separation. You've got to see it as like a hierarchy tree. You've got the blockchain at the very top of the hierarchy, and cryptocurrency is just one of the offshoots. But realistically, there's a lot of offshoots. Like at the moment, blockchain is revolutionizing things like supply chains, things like voting systems, things like distribution, digital identity verification. There's a lot of these. Obviously, NFTs is a massive one, which we'll speak about, which has huge implications for creators. So
it's basically got to a point, I think, with the internet that there needed to be an invention and there needed to be this new thing to fix the problems of the internet and the safety of it and whatnot. Like, I've been saying for years that social media accounts need to be connected to some sort of identity
verification
of identity.
Well, that's a perfect area to work, to use blockchain technology to create something like that,
because basically I think as humans we've ran away with the internet.
We've abused it, basically.
Yeah. And I think that blockchain can be a way, tell me if I'm wrong, it could be a way to bring in some legality about the internet.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of abuse on the internet from many actors, starting with individuals who become like internet trolls and, people feel anonymous on the internet and so they can say anything. And hackers, yeah, of course. But then also you've got to look at the big players like Facebook and, Meta and Netflix and YouTube and the big corporations and stuff, which are also, collecting all this data about us.
Like they're practically ungoverned.
They're practically ungoverned. They're practically using manipulative techniques to market to us on a daily basis.
They're listening to us.
Yeah, they're listening to us. They're just, everything. If you type in something dodgy on the internet, they know, and I think that there's also an element of that blockchain technology will be able to help with. In a way, is going to give power back to the little man. There's this whole idea that on the internet we are the product. As the users of the internet, we are the product.
Yeah.
And this is moving towards the Web 3.0 idea.
We'll come to that later.
We'll come to that later. So let's take it one step at a time and let's talk about NFTs.
When we first kind of heard about NFTs, I feel like it was pandemic time.
Yeah. Early pandemic time.
It all came out of that at the beginning as, this kid's made a little doodle.
And it's now worth $5 million.
And it's now worth $5 million, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, but people get on board with art, so.
So, what are NFTs? NFT stands for non-fungible token, which is a bit of a funky name.
What's fungible?
It means it can't be fake, can't be like copied.
Okay.
So it can't be funged. Basically, what it is, it's a unique token. That's the most important aspect of it. It is that it's completely unique and it can't be faked. It can't be falsified. It can't be like falsified. So obviously, cogs
like a
are
digital
turning.
Version of like ownership of the Mona Lisa.
Yeah. The bells are ringing here. The creator sphere is like, ooh, exciting. This good. There's definitely some usage here for creators.
But in a lot more ways than people probably are aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you mentioned, early pandemic days, that was absolutely not the launch of NFTs. Like NFTs existed quite a few years before that, but it was when there was a hype.
Yeah.
The media outlets picked up on it. And it just blew up. It just blew up. And yeah, absolutely, you know, the most outrageous stories are the ones that make the headlines. So someone made a like 3-pixel doodle or whatever, and then it went on an auction site, and, you know, celebrities bid on it, and all of a sudden they own a little 3-pixel doodle for $5 million. And the best part about it is, you know, it's not physical. It's just a website. You own it because the website says you own it. Seems a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. So one of the things that in my mind that I tried to understand it as is like when you purchase skins on COD, people are happy to spend money on digital assets.
Yeah. Today's society attaches so much importance to possessions, and, you know, that manifested itself in these huge brands, you know, these huge brand names like Hugo Boss and Gucci and Prada, and it means something if you own a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Gucci. So there's this.
But that's understandable because everyone can see that.
Yeah, but what's the value? Because the moment you get a fake one from, you know, the market somewhere, people are like, oh, that's a fake one. The actual value, the actual social worth is attached to the fact that it's expensive, it's rare, so therefore there's that element of uniqueness, and the authenticity of it is only important if you own it. It's that idea, you know, it's that idea that ownership, as we move more into the digital world, the ownership and authenticity, the importance of it will move with it. Like you mentioned, you know, on COD, if you buy a skin on COD right now, which is an outfit for your little character, that's all well and good, yeah, but there's 1,000 other people or 1,000,000 other people that are wearing that outfit. But if you could pay $5,000 or $10,000 for an outfit that was completely unique to you,
some people would do it.
Some people would do it, and then they would run around and they'd be like, oh, that's... Or, you know, I don't know, for example, a creator like Logan Paul could have an outfit that resembled him, like his face and everything, scanned into the game, and then you see him and it's like, shit, that's Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And he could pay not 5,000, but he could pay 1 million or 5 million for that. And, you know, it would probably come with some sort of in-game card that said, I own this outfit. You know, this outfit was designed by XYZ, Gucci. You could own a Gucci outfit on COD.
That's cool.
Gucci creates an NFT.
Yeah.
For this outfit.
We're getting into the realm of talking about how it can impact or influence creators. And I wanted to bring up the story of us owning an NFT.
Yeah.
So we do actually own an NFT from Yes Theory.
Yeah. So this is another element of a huge use case of NFTs, and that's like tickets and access. Utility, yeah. Because of the nature of the blockchain, so the fact that it can't be falsified, the technology lends itself to being the perfect way to sell tickets to events or to clubs, exclusive societies. So what we did is we purchased a ticket to the premiere of the Iceman documentary, and it was in the form of an NFT. Now, the benefits are...
It's non-fungible.
The benefit is that we now have like a unique limited edition ticket, which, you know, it's really nice. Like, it's kind of reversible. It's numbered, so we know which number it is. It's like a keepsake. Yeah, it's digital. It's not physical, but... So what? Does that make it any less real?
Potentially
still today.
Yeah.
But in 10 years' time, I think...
My difficulty is I really like the utility aspect of NFTs. I think that makes complete sense. Like, I don't know, you've got an NFT for Costa and somehow it like does the stamp thing but via an NFT.
Your Costa card, basically.
Yeah. My argument against that is what's wrong with just apps and putting them in your wallet on your iPhone, or what's the benefit of having an NFT?
To be honest, like, I think with something like a Costa card, the NFT technology and the blockchain technology are not revolutionary. You know, that they can slightly improve the functionality of it. They can make it a bit cooler. And, you know, for example, again, an idea for Costa to kind of improve their loyalty thing is every time you visit a Costa, each Costa has a unique little NFT, which is like maybe like a cartoon drawing or like an illustration of the place where it is. And then you can collect them all. So it makes it like gamifies, you know, Costa. And just an example, but there's nothing wrong with how it currently functions.
I guess it's a lot of it is as well moving into the future, like
future proofing.
Yeah, future proofing our current practices online.
Yeah,
making it safer and non-fungible.
So, talking about creators,
yeah,
and utility for creators. So we've spoken about these like loyalty cards, the idea of these kind of like loyalty cards memberships. So I think it would be there's an awesome way here to create your community as a creator, and you want to, for example, reward your followers with an NFT, and they get this NFT, and maybe the ownership of this NFT gives them access to a Discord server or a Patreon or something like that, and it gives them benefits. So, for example, the fact that they own the NFT gives them automatically a 15% discount at B&H Photo. That's sick. But there's also, you know, we mentioned about the creating art as an NFT. There's a huge argument for why you should do that. And that's the fact that there's a commission attached to NFTs in perpetuity. So if you release a piece of art, you get commission on every sale of that piece of art. And this is really cool.
Oh yeah, like with football when they get sold to a new club.
And there's a sell-on clause, yeah.
To the original founding.
It's just like that. It's just like that. But so you can release your NFT on an auction website such as OpenSea. I'd recommend, like, if you're interested in being a creator or in creative things, which if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sure you are, visit like a marketplace like OpenSea and just have a look at what's on there out of curiosity.
That's an NFT marketplace.
That's an NFT marketplace, yeah. So you can buy photography there, you can buy drawings there, paintings. We watched a project by Logan Paul called 99 Originals.
Amazing YouTube video. You have to go and watch that.
Honestly,
anyone.
You have to watch it.
I think it's the best video we've ever watched on YouTube, potentially.
But it's not just because it's a good video. It's because the concept is amazing. So, long story short, Logan Paul goes on a huge quest to shoot 99 original Polaroid photographs. And they're super ambitious. Like some of them are super ambitious. And
there's one in Zero Gravity.
Yeah. And the idea is that each one of those Polaroids will be its own NFT, and they will form a collection of 99 originals. Now, this is an awesome idea because it's like a hybrid, isn't it? He's got the original Polaroids, the actual image itself, you know, in physical form. They're obviously scanned in and they become this digital NFT format. The way he did it was that actually the owner of the NFT would also get the physical representation of it. So
yeah, I think that's a good way of it being a soft launch into society. Like, you get this digital ownership proof and thing, but you also get a physical one.
It becomes like an authenticity certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, each one of those NFTs, every time it sells, every time it changes hands, Logan Paul will get a commission of 10% or 8% or 15%. And you can set that commission yourself as a creator when you launch the project. So, you know, there's a second-hand market now for this sort of art. I mean, there's been a huge market for like high-end art, you know, your Van Goghs and stuff like that. You know, they go for ridiculous prices. Imagine if you were able to launch these paintings. Van Gogh.
Is it Van Gogh or Van Gogh?
I think people say different things.
Okay.
Anyway, you know, imagine if as an artist, every time somebody sells your image or painting, you're getting a kickback from that. NFTs have been used in popular culture now quite a lot. I mean, Kings of Leon were one of the first like major bands that released their album as an NFT. You could own their album as an NFT. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'd love to own some sort of Harry Potter NFT. I have also already looked into it, but none are yet from the legit wizarding world. So I'm not interested.
So they're not. See, so but look, you're showing how important the authenticity is to you.
Oh, true.
That's just demonstrated how important it is.
Very true.
So yeah, just one more idea that I had, because you know that importance of authenticity. You know, like we do things like put silly backgrounds on our phones, wallpapers and stuff. In the future, that could be a status symbol. You having a limited or one-off background on your phone, and it has a little sign that it's a unique thing, and that's an NFT.
We're spending more and more time online, so it only makes sense that there is a way to enhance that experience online and have the real life things also online. I
mean, spending time online, metaverse.
I don't want anything to do with it.
That's some scary shit.
I compare other people's like feelings about NFT and crypto with how I feel about the metaverse. I feel like it's literally a Black Mirror episode, and I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, so I mean, the metaverse, if you don't know, is basically a virtual world. Like, it's fully a virtual world.
By Facebook.
By Meta, the company behind Facebook. You can walk around in it. You can have a house in it. You
Meetings.
Can have. What'd you say?
You can have like company meetings held.
Yeah,
in the
you can go to work there, and you know. Yeah, there'll be other people that have their own avatars in there, and you're like, hello, how's it going? And everything. And the idea is that we're moving towards a situation where you can own land in the metaverse.
Oh my God.
You can own, obviously, outfits, so you can own a Gucci.
Why are you obsessed with Gucci?
I don't know. You can own a Hugo Boss suit in the metaverse.
Imagine if like Porsche got involved somehow and you could like drive a car up to your company building.
It probably already is the case. I wouldn't be surprised.
If they haven't done this yet, I'm copywriting that idea.
Yeah.
Come for me, Porsche.
So that's NFTs for you in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it. These topics, we're just scratching the surface. Like, genuinely, we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, and I just want to say that like my favorite thing personally is the idea of NFTs as memberships for creators. I think that's really cool, because if you have a limited special edition community, like imagine if Peter McKinnon had like a 50-person community or less, and people can get what they want from that community for a while, and then they can sell that NFT, which gives this new person access to the community. And I think that's an insane possibility for creators.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, to be honest, that I didn't mention that about our Ice Man documentary NFT. Our Yes Theory NFT had that sort of membership. We became members of the Ice Squad because we own the NFT.
So we got updates about the project. We were in the credits of the film. Yeah,
we were allowed to like come like as VIPs to the premiere. So we had like early entrance, and we got to meet the Yes Theory members, and we got to meet Amar and Tommy, and there was perks. There was perks.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. You mentioned Web 3.0. Should we talk a bit about that?
It's the blockchain, right?
It's to do with the blockchain.
That's all I know.
Okay. Web 3.0 is the idea of a next generation of internet. So it's 3.0. So what's 1 and 2? Well, Web 1.0 was the original internet, which was kind of like a read-only internet. You know, it was there were documents, like a library. Yeah, like a library. We just took information from the internet. Web 2.0 became more interactive. And at first it became interactive. It was a give and take, and like you could do a quiz, or you could do play a game on the internet.
Write a blog post.
Yeah, you could write a blog post and things like that. And then Web 2.0 moved towards taking more
nefarious tactics.
Yeah, to be honest. So it became a leech. So it was taking every single mouse click, every single keystroke, every website that we went on, tracking it all, processing it all, creating data about us. So Web 2.0, a bit nasty, basically.
At this point, yeah.
Web 3.0 is hoping to swing that back in our favour as the little users of the internet. So it's the idea that we will control our own data, and we will have ownership of what we do. So
can we choose to sell our own data?
Yeah, absolutely. We can prostitute ourselves with our data. So the idea is that
Yeah, I'm all right with that, actually, because when I go on a website, the cookies notification kills me every time. I hate it. So I've just gotten into a habit of clicking allow all. So I'm giving away data anyway. So if I was given the option to own my own data and sell it, I probably would.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people would, because I think the idea is that, Web 3.0 would offer you additional like security, additional privacy, because it would be your decision to sell your data. And it would give you money.
So is it also a security thing based on, like, for example, BT Internet leaked a load of emails not long ago?
Yeah.
Is the Web 3.0 like a safety measure for that? Would that...
The idea of that is it's still quite far away in practice. The blockchain technology would have to be so readily available that the companies like BT would be able to use them, which I think, a lot of these companies are very old-fashioned, like Mammoth. So I think we're still a long way away from that. But in principle, yeah. The internet's free. Things like Instagram and Facebook are free. Yeah? So advertisers come in to get access to our eyeballs. Our eyeballs and our brains are the product. Yeah, we are being sold. Our
like
attention.
Feet on OnlyFans.
Exactly like that. So our eyeballs, our attention, our time is being sold. Why are we not getting at least a kickback from that? So there's a browser, there's an internet browser called the Brave browser, which is already trying to do that, basically. And advertisers are happy to pay a commission for your eyeballs because they know how valuable it is.
So what's the deal with Facebook and Instagram? They're providing their services for free. Because would the advertisers pay to be on those platforms and pay a user for their data?
Well, I mean, that's obviously up to the individual business to decide that model, whether Facebook wants to pay the users itself or whether it wants to charge and pass on that commission for the eyeballs to the businesses. That's obviously entirely up to them. But at the moment, as it stands, Facebook and Instagram are making bare dollar from these adverts. And,
using our resources.
Yeah. I mean, you could say, obviously, we are getting, the trade is that we get to use the platform for free. But I think...
I wonder how that could be applied more to creators as well, that concept. Like, how you earn money at the moment from, like, TikTok and Instagram. I wonder how that could be involved in the Web 3.0, like, in terms of the data that you're collecting, being a big creator on the platform.
Yeah. I think, obviously in a way that is currently calculated into the money that creators are getting from these creator funds and earnings, because that's what the ad revenue is on YouTube, for example. At the moment, it's probably quite a abstract way of measuring it. Whereas with the blockchain technology with Web 3.0, there would be a far more precise way of interaction with the data. So the platform as well as the user would just have far more control and knowledge of what that data is that you're giving away or selling or buying.
So is that the main premise of Web 3.0, basically data control?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. It's giving the power back to the users.
Do you have any actionable ways of how that would affect creators?
I think it's definitely an area that could help with things like plagiarism, copying other people's work. We recently watched a Colin Samir podcast about that.
About Ryan
Trahan, is it? Yeah, and someone just copying his YouTube short, like word for word,
literally
identical.
Word for word, shot for shot. It was shocking.
It's really bad.
Colin Samir was so polite. Like, I love them to bits, but they're so, like, formal. Like, I would throw hands.
Yeah, I'd go mental. I'd find them. I'd find them. I'd find their families. Like, it's rude.
It's rude. It is rude.
It's rude, and I think that NFT blockchain technology can definitely be a big help in that regard.
You could own like legitimately your own content online.
Yeah. There would be probably legally it would be much easier to actually assign ownership to content and creators.
How does that work with like copyright and stuff?
Well, exactly. I mean,
it's complicated because, like, for example, GoPro came first, right?
Mm.
And now every other brand has created an action camera that looks identical.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that allowed from a copyright perspective? So again, in terms of creators and like there are ideas online, it would be great if there was a way to like legitimize the ownership of your own content, and probably much easier with stuff like NFTs for photographs, short films. But in terms of YouTube videos, like, can you really like own an idea? I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say probably not, but I think, at the moment, I think copyright and trademark laws are not appropriate for the level of protection is negligible for creators, and I think that needs to change. And I think this is the right step towards that direction.
What about digital identification?
It ties in with the idea of the fact that the blockchain technology is very hard to falsify it, so it adds that layer of security.
Mm-hmm.
If we're using the traditional way of storing somebody's digital identification on a server, I couldn't, but someone could hack into that server, replace the file, change the date on it, change the photo on it, and all of a sudden they've got they've stolen the ID, or they've got a fake ID, they've got something different. With the blockchain, you can't do that. You change it on one computer, all the other computers know. There's also one more thing about blockchain and the whole thing, and that's the democratic element. The idea that, it's governed by the people, not by a single person. So a lot of these projects are based around the idea that people have voting power on how the direction that the project is taking.
Aren't people dumb?
I think that's a topic for another podcast. With these projects, the way it works is for example, the more of the coin you own, or the more of your skin you have in the game with that project, the more voting power you have. And in a way, that makes sense.
I think, just to like reiterate, the reason we're talking about this in relation to creators is that creators are making everything online.
Yeah.
Like content creators, the things that they're making are online, and at the moment there isn't really a safeguard or safe place to protect those creators, and these things that we've been talking about are potentially ways that can help with that and protect you as a creator.
Yeah. I think it's time to start wrapping up, so let's quickly go over the future. Where is this going, and also some of the drawbacks, because it's not all dandy. It's not all
obviously
just
How
roses.
much money have you lost in crypto?
I've lost some money in crypto. Yeah, a big project just overnight collapsed due to issues. A coordinated attack from.
Because that's the thing. That's like how crypto gets a bad rep sometimes, is like it all dropped after that big fiasco of Luna, was it?
Yeah.
Luna going bust, but it was because one guy had a load of money in there, right? And he pulled it out or something.
Honestly, explaining it would be a podcast episode in itself,
But
and
anyway,
I don't really understand it, but it's extremely complicated. There's different theories, but there is theories that it was like a planned attack, a coordinated attack, like a manipulation, like a financial manipulation.
But you could say the exact same thing in current like fiat money with like the stocks.
Yeah.
Like GameStop and Doge.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah.
Is the current meme stock. Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's a very volatile very, very volatile space, and it's risky. And if you're investing money in it, be very careful.
No risk, no fun.
No risk, no fun. But also, like, it's very unpredictable. So that's going to be something that holds it back for sure for the foreseeable future. It can be very lucrative, but also very risky. And it's still extremely new, so there's a lot to iron out. There's a lot of kinks to iron out, to do with taxation laws. How do you get taxed? At which point do you get taxed? At the moment, a lot of these projects are offering ridiculously high interest rates for just holding the coins.
I mean, yeah, going back to the creator talk, like Yes Theory got so much hate for releasing their tickets via NFT.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never seen one of their videos get so many negative comments because people hate it.
Yeah, people are scared of it. People are seeing it as, black magic.
So as a creator, it's kind of risky to also get involved. Like, Yes Theory are big enough that they won't have been affected by releasing NFTs, but like a smaller creator, for example,
there's a bit of risk.
Might alienate their community. I mean, we didn't get the best feedback when we said that we were going to talk about this in this podcast.
I mean, it's just that element of people being scared of the new, I think, and scared of the unknown as well. And rightly so, it's a self-preservation thing.
Yeah.
I think with Yes Theory, a really good example for creators on how to introduce this into your workflow is they did both, didn't they? They released traditional tickets and they released NFT tickets. So people who didn't want to dabble in the NFTs could have just bought a traditional ticket. I
feel like they released that after the outrage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Potentially, but don't quote me on that.
I don't know, but anyway, I mean, that's an idea for creators out there to soft launch, dip your toes in, launch one and the other, give people options.
As we said, basically in the intro, it's basically about future proofing. This stuff isn't like huge right now, and it's very hated right now, but the chances are it's going to be accepted in the future.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, 100% is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that the important takeaway is don't sleep on it, because there's a lot of opportunity there and it's happening, and it's far, far bigger already at this point than I think a lot of people realise.
Yeah. And even not sleeping on it in terms of like setting up your own related NFTs, for example, but also just making yourself aware of the situation.
Education.
Yeah.
Just education. Yeah.
Just so that you know when it comes around how things work. Like, for example, if your favorite creator makes an NFT and you need to know whether you want to invest in that, just be aware of the situation.
Yeah. I think that's it. That's all we've got.
This was a really formal podcast. This is the first podcast we're doing with our Shure MV7 microphones and headphones.
I hope it sounded good.
I felt like a professional.
Yeah,
I feel like
feels
I'm dropping
really
a
pro.
mixtape.
We've got a 3-camera setup going as well. It feels really pro, and also it felt very like interviewy, even though it's just the two of us. It felt very interviewy.
Yeah, but we had less banter.
Yeah, definitely less banter. Yeah,
I think it made us feel like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay, well, more banter coming in the next episodes.
Yeah, if you want banter, head to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and if you want to have a laugh at me, I lost a lot of money in Luna in the crash, so there's that.
But I also told him to invest in Dogecoin before the hype came around, because I just thought it was funny. And if he'd have listened to me, we would be millionaires right now. So
we would have made quite a bit of money, yeah. Maybe not millionaires, but a lot of money.
Yeah, millionaires. Anyway.
Potato, potato.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please let us know your thoughts on all the matters that we've talked about, whether we've sparked any kind of interest for you on the topic.
Yeah, we'd love to know your thoughts on crypto, and we'd also love to hear your reservations and concerns. So if you have any, share them with us on the socials.
They're completely valid.
Completely valid. Yeah, share them with us on the socials, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, see you on the next one.
It's been a pleasure.
Hear you on the next one. You'll hear us in the next one.
I love you.
Bye.